Okay, inshallah, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So, last week you guys were learning about the feminine words, right? Feminine words. I believe Maulana Nadeem, he went through a few different feminine words or a few different signs that feminine words have. But the one sign that I think you guys just need to know for now or be very good with is the ta marbuta, the circle ta. So it's the round ta, yep, with the two dots on the end, yep. So this is one sign of a feminine word. So any word that has the ta marbuta, this is a feminine word. If there's a word that doesn't have the ta marbuta, then we know that this is a masculine word, basically. Yeah. So it's just basically that simple. So I know Maulana Nadeem went over two other types, alif mamduda and alif maqsura, but don't worry about those, inshallah. Yeah. Does anybody know why it's important to know the difference between male and female words? No? Okay. You can all talk as well, by the way, at any time you want. Yeah. So the sorry. So yeah, so the main reason or the main reason why we need to have male and female words, or we need to know our male and female words, is so that we can reference back to each word. So let me give you an example. The word beautiful. Does anybody know how to say the word beautiful in Arabic?
Jamil.
Yes. So beautiful in Arabic is translated as Jamil. Now, if I write the word Jamil, yeah. Now you can see this word Jamil, right? But we can have boys that are beautiful or men that are beautiful, and at the same time we can have women that are beautiful as well, right? So if we, in a sentence, if we were to have a man and a woman, how would we know who the description of beautiful, who the description of Jamil is going back to? Do you get it? So let's say, for example, if I write the example Zaid. So, sorry, just some gas there. So Zaid, we know this is a masculine word. So if we are referencing something back to Zaid, such as the word beautiful, then we will obviously write the masculine form of the word beautiful. So you see Zaidun, Jamilun. Yeah. And in the same way, we can have Fatima. Yep. So if we have Fatima, she is obviously a female, and it's a female word. So that's why when we're referring back to Fatima, we're gonna have the female version of the word beautiful, which is Jamila. So Fatimatun, Jamilatun. And that's it. And that's the only reason why, or one of the main reasons why, we have masculine and feminine words in the Arabic language. So Bismillah. So if you guys can just, this is one of the main things you need to remember, inshallah, is this ta marbuta. It shows a feminine, or it shows the feminine side of words. And why do we have masculine and feminine words in the Arabic language? Is so when we're referencing back to words before it, that's when it comes into play, inshallah. All right. Is that okay with everyone? Is that all right, inshallah?
Yeah, Sheikh.
Okay.
Yes.
Also, if I quickly just touch on one more point, Maulana Nadeem done last week, it's the wahid, tathniya, and the jam'a. So basically our singular, our dual, and our plural. So I think he went through a few different types, but inshallah we'll just focus on one type here, that one main type here, inshallah. So as for wahid, we know that means one, right? That's singular. So what that is 1 sec, sorry guys, let's clear this. 1 second, sorry, yeah. So as for the wahid, these words are set basically. Yes, Dalal.
Ustad, so I was going to say, so basically in Arabic, a word per se is not masculine or feminine, but we make it masculine or feminine by introducing or not introducing the ta marbuta. Because certain languages, there are words that are inherently masculine or feminine, like French or Italian, Spanish.
Yeah. No, even in Arabic, we have words that are naturally by default either masculine or feminine. So let's say, for example, the sun. The sun is a feminine word. It's attributed to femininity. Pot, qidrun. This is a feminine word as well. It's attributed to femininity. Now, these words, such as girls' names as well, their default, they are feminine words as well. But you know, words that there are also those other words that are not attributed to any gender as well, such as jameel. So that would just mean beautiful. Now, beautiful itself inherently doesn't have an inclination towards male or female, but we can make it male or female. So if we add the ta marbuta, we know we're talking about jamila. This is a female word. And if we're talking about the masculine version of beautiful, we will just leave it as jamil, basically. So there's three types of words in Arabic you could say in one way. The masculine words, let's say rajulun or baytun. This is known as a masculine word as well because it's not known as a feminine word in Arabic. Then you have shamsun, which is a female word in Arabic by default, even though it doesn't really have a gender. You know, the sun doesn't have a gender. We can't say it's a boy or a girl. You can't say a house is a boy or a girl, but it has a gender of masculinity and femininity. So these are two types of words. Then you have another type of word in Arabic, the third type, where we make it masculine or we keep it as, or make it feminine. So let's say Jamil. I'll use the example again. If you say Jamila, then this is feminine. And if you say Jamil, then this is basically masculine. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a question.
Yes, please.
The name Talha.
Yeah.
That has a ta marbuta at the end.
Yeah.
How comes?
Yeah. So with the name Talha, this is gonna be by default known as a masculine word, even though it has a ta marbuta at the end. This is a different category. This is when we do nahwa, yani when we start the book of nahwa, we'll go through that. Okay? But I think when Nadeem touched on this last week, it's called sama'i. So it's basically, it was just heard in that fashion used by the Arabs. So we can't.
Okay.
So we can't do anything about that. It's just used. It's known to be used in that fashion, inshallah. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So in terms of now singular words, dual words, and plural words, you know what we've just talked about, sama'i, meaning we heard it transmit to us like this from the Arabs. Singular words and plural words generally, they are verbatim. You just have to know what they are. So let's say, for example, if I write the word kitab, yeah. So kitab is, one second, my pen is just, let me just show this. Let me just see if I can. 1 second. So you guys see anything on the screen, or is it not coming up?
It's lagging, Sheikh.
It's lagging, isn't it?
It comes like very slowly.
If you guys just 1 second, inshallah.
Chandan, bye.
1 second.
There is a disturbing noise, Sheikh. I don't know what that is.
Does it sound like a fan?
No, I think it was one of the brothers. I think he was coughing. I thought something wrong with the connection.
Oh no, it's fine.
But I got something stuck up my throat, innit?
Gee. I've got this manual one now, inshallah. This hopefully will be a little bit better, inshallah. All right, so let's say for example the word kitab, yeah. I think this is even lagging now as well. Could be my internet connection, I must probably. Okay, so you see this word kitabun, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is by, you know that this is a singular word. It just means a book, right? So now the plural of kitab, or plural of a book, is kutub. Yep, I think this is right. So kutubun. Yep. This means book.
Does that mean books, Sheikh?
Yes, this means books. Inshallah, yeah. Now, there are no scales for these. Now, what I mean by there are no scales for these is basically just as you would learn the singular word, you'd go to a dictionary and you'd learn the translation of a book, right? Similarly, you learn the translation of kutubun, books as well. You just have to learn these translations verbatim. You just have to know that this is the singular and this is the plural. That's it, basically, yeah? But however, when we get to jewel, there's a difference, okay? When we go to any jewel word, all you're going to do is add these two letters at the end of it, alif and noon. So let me ask you guys a question now. You know how to say book in Arabic, right?
Yep.
So if I want to say I have two books, or if I want to refer to two books, how would I pronounce that? You can just say it.
كتابا.
Kitabuna.
Kitabun.
Kitabun.
So if I say kitabun, right? That means one book.
Yes.
Kutub. Is it kutub?
Kutub
No.
would mean
That's plural.
كتابا.
Kutubihi.
yeah, so kutubun. This would mean books. But I want to say specifically two books. Yeah, remember.
Kitaban.
You would say kitabani.
Yes. So kitaban. I guess whoever said that, Ismail is saying kitabani. That's correct. So I should have done this. I should have put a kasra at the end. So this is basically how you make anything into a dual in Arabic.
Kitabani.
So you see this here. So we have the kitabani. So this alif and noon has been added on. Did you get it? So let's say, for example, though, boys, yeah? If I give you the word, there was, watch this, there was, hold on, let me just clear everything so I have more space again. Let's say if we have,
So, noon and a kasra all the time.
yes, noon and kasra.
Okay.
Now this says rajulani. How many men are there?
2.
2.
2 men, yeah? So if I want to say two beautiful men, would I use rajulani, jamilani?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It's is that Mawsuf Sifat?
Yes. This is most sifat, but inshallah, I just want to show you something else from this kind of example. So you see this alif and noon right here, right? So look,
Yeah.
if this is the case for one second. If this is the case for rajulani, jamilani, how would I say watch this. So how many daughters are there?
2.
So how would I say beautiful for these two daughters?
Jamila Tani, innit?
Jamila Tani, yes, exactly. So Jamila Tani. So you see this. So this alif and noon is added on. It doesn't matter if the word is sorry, my Arabic. So it doesn't matter if the word is Jamila or if it's Jamil. Boys, yeah? It's gonna be, you just add the alif and the noon to the end. Alif and the noon to the end. Sorry, you know, it's my
So Sheikh,
tips. Yes.
whenever you add the alif and the noon,
Yes.
you're referring to more than one, correct?
More than one meaning.
No,
two.
2 only.
Sorry?
Only
It's
two.
dual. It's duals, meaning it will be 2.
2 or more, yeah?
Yes.
Or
No,
two
no,
or
more.
Two.
3 and more would be the plural.
Okay.
Jamia.
So
Ustad, so how comes when they describe Makkah and Medina, they call it Haramain
Haramain.
instead of, yeah, the two harams,
G.
but this is different form of describing jewel.
Yeah, mashallah, well done. So remember, yeah, under jewel, okay, what do we have so far? We have yani alif and noon, yeah?
Mhm.
We add alif and noon to the word, and that makes it a dual, right? And then
Yes.
there is also a ya and a noon. So now, which one to use? Is it going to be rajulani, or is it going to be rajulaini?
It'll be
Can you repeat that
Rajulani.
question again, please?
So let me change the color here as well. You see here, you have an alif and a noon, right? Similar to
Yeah.
this. And here you have a ya and a noon.
Yeah.
Similar to this one, right?
Yeah.
Both mean jewel, meaning
Yeah.
two men.
Yeah.
They both mean exactly the same thing. But here I've used the ya and a noon, and here I've used the alif and a noon. Do you get it? So you can use both, but in very specific circumstances, in very specific situations, in a very specific time, you use one or the other. Okay. Now, when is it that you use alif and noon? When is it that you use ya and noon? Inshallah, we'll go into that when we start our formal study of Nahwa. Yeah?
Yep.
But for now, we just need to know that there is a dual word which can be reflected with alif and noon and ya and noon. And these are the scales. So, you know, when we said Jamila Tani, we will say Jamila Tani as well. So look at this.
So the ta marbuta there becomes a proper ta because it's in the middle.
It would be one of these tars, yeah. It's still a, yes. Yes, it would be this tar basically, yes.
Yeah.
Yep, similar to the Jamila Thani as well, yeah. So that's all that I wanted to cover in terms of singular, dual, plural, and male and female. So remember, I told you guys, in terms of singular and plural, it's just verbatim. You just have to know what they are. But in terms of dual, we can put them into a scale, which is ani and aini. Inshallah, yeah? So that's it, boys. Inshallah. That was the recap of Maulana Nadim's lesson. I wanted to add that in there. I thought that was quite important. What I will do now, inshallah, is I will start our new lesson, which is today's lesson. Now, today's lesson is a very simple lesson. It's on huruful jar. So you've all done huruful jar before. I'm assuming most of you, and even if you haven't, then inshallah we can we'll make sure that everyone's on the same level with it, so you don't need to worry about anything. Yep. So what I'll do is we'll go through it. So this is our lesson 3, boys. Yeah. Also, just before I start, does anybody have any questions on male and female words and dual, singular, plural?
No.
Okay, inshallah. If you've, I'm going to be sending out notes like I did last week. Try to obviously make your own notes as well and just go through them, please, because you know, these lessons, they may seem a little bit boring maybe for some of you, but these are literally the main parts that you'd have to know. If you just get through these bits, if you just write them down, memorize them, then when we start Qasasun Nabiyyin, you're all going to be translating using these few principles that are quite important, and then you enjoying it very much, inshallah. Yeah. So, inshallah, look, part 1 of today's lesson is about huruful jarrah. If we can get to part 2, I don't want to go over 40 minutes, 50 minutes, because I just want to keep it within time today, inshallah, because I know it can be quite long. So we have part 2, which is about fi'l, as you can see here, madi, mudari. This is the Arabic for it. But part 1 is about huruful jarrah. Yep. What I'll do, inshallah, I'll try to use my proper tablet again. See if the lagging has stopped now. Just give me a second. Okay, sure. It seems a little bit better now. So we'll try to go with that. So, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Part 1, Huruful Jarra, and the Fi'l Mudari and the Fi'l Madi. So first of all, just want to start the lesson by saying that there are two types of huruf. There are two types of huruf, and these huruf are that affect the word after it. So how many types of huruf are there? If anyone, obviously you would know there's two, right? There's two there, and there are those that affect the word after it. Does anybody know what I mean by those harf that affect the word after it?
I think we have little idea about it.
Say that again.
We have a little idea because we done it. The huruf will change the end halaka of the sentence.
Yes, that's it basically. So those harf that affect the word after it, they will change the diacritical point, so the haraka on the word that comes after it. Okay, so I'll just read the red part here. Those that affect the word after it are called al-huruful jarrah. Al-huruful jarrah. These are specific huruf. Whatever comes after these huruf, they change that word after it in terms of the haraka it has at the end of the word. So the last letter, what haraka that has on there, that's what it affects. So the part of the word that is affected is the diacritical point at the end of the word. Let me give you guys a quick example, right? For example, if we have the word al-bayt, so you can see here al-bayt. If anyone was to read this now, it's called al-bayt, the house. In Arabic, we would read it with a diacritical point of a dhamma. You see that highlighted there? It's called a dhamma, obviously, yeah? So the word would be read as al-baytu.
Sheikh, what does diacritical mean?
Diacritical means the point of the word which shows its state. I'll read that. I'll repeat that again. The point of the word, or the part of the word that shows or reflects its state. That's a diacritical point. So generally the diacritical point is the last is the haraka on the last letter of the word.
Yeah, cool, understood.
So the dhamma, so with this word al-baytu, the diacritical point is the dhamma, meaning the last letter has a dhamma on there. This is our main focus. Yeah.
Is that a double dhamma at the end?
This is
No,
dhamma,
no.
single one.
Is it so like how we had the example of kitabun before? So automatically, if there's no other indicators, straight away it's
No,
going to be dhamma
if
for
all
every word?
added, if all added, then there will be one dhamma.
Yeah.
Okay, and without al, then it's just two.
Yeah, baytun. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah. Al or nun sakin means it's ism.
yes.
I mean, sorry, double dhamma. Or al means it's ism. I recall from one of the Arabic classes.
That's fine. So we have al-baytu here. So the main point here, as the other brother said, what is the diacritical point? Is basically the last letter, the haraka, as you can see here, is the dhamma on there. So by default, if you have a word, you start a sentence, right? So we would start a sentence by default, and what that would mean is that it just comes with the dhamma, right? And that's it. But if you have a harful jar, or if you have an agent, a governing body in front of this word, then this diacritical point would be affected, inshallah. We'll have a look now. So the same word, al-baytu, yeah, is read al-bayti. So can you see there's a kasra on this one? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
With a diacritical point of kasra. For example, fil bayti. Now here we have al-baytu, but here we have al-bayti. Why? Because of this governing agent here. So fi is a harf, of course. It just means in. It's a harf, and it's one of those harf, or one of those huruf that affect the word that comes after it. How does it affect that word? It affects it by giving it a kasra.
Kasra.
And that's it. It's literally it's that easy. There's nothing else to it. It's just whatever comes after that word, that harf, it gets a kasra on its last letter. Let's say, for example, guys, yeah, you know this alif lam?
Yeah.
Imagine that wasn't here. Or imagine it wasn't there. How would you read that? Would it be fil bayti? Or would it would just be fi baytin? Yeah.
Fi baitin.
Yeah, so if I quickly show you here, we're gonna write fi baytin. You see this double here? The alif lam is missing, yep. Fi baytin, because the alif lam is missing. So the fi is the main governing agent here, and it will give it either 2 kasra or 1 kasra depending on the word. If it's got alif lam in front of it or not. Hope I'm not confusing anymore. Okay, so now here we go. The governing harf, watch this. The governing harf, meaning the harful jar, because we know that the governing, those harf that are governing, they're called harful jar. They render the word after it or after them to have a diacritical point kasra. We've just done that. The word that comes after the harful jar is called the majroor. So every word or thing that is connected to the harful jar is called the majroor. For example, we have, one second guys, hold on, I think my daughter's calling me. Yeah, so look, so every word or thing that is connected to the harful jar is called the majroor. For example, we have fil bayti. So this fi in the red box or the orange box is the harful jar, right?
Yeah.
And the bayti, al-bayti, is the majroor. Let me see if I can rewrite this for you guys. Need to drop my pen. So, so the harful jar is here. This is the harful jar, and this is the majroor. Yep, majroor is spelled like this. This is the majroor, yeah? That's all you have to know. After harful jar, it's called the majroor. Anything that comes after harful jar is known as the majroor. Yes, please.
Is halat jar and majroor the same thing?
So, majroor is in halat of jar. Majroor is in halat of jar. And when we do a inshallah, we're going to go into different types of halat. I've answered that just because it was asked. Yep. So majroor is in the halat of jar. And when you have your harful jar, the word that comes after it is majroor. How does a majroor reflect itself? Or how do you know that this word is majroor? By looking at this. This is the main indication. Is that clear? Does that make sense, inshallah?
Inshallah.
I mean, what difference does it make, or is it just literally how to pronounce it?
It's literally how to pronounce it for now. Now we'll stick with the idea that it's literally just how to pronounce it. But when we get into our nahwa, core nahwa, we will find out why we need to know this, basically. Why this is so important, inshallah. So it has some importance to it, and then we'll be able to go through that. When we're doing qasas, inshallah, we'll go through that in detail, yeah? All right. Now, if you guys, I mean, instead of us going through this, one by one. If you guys can remember this, so I will send this table. If you guys can remember them. So we know fee. That's a harf al jar. So if you were to let's use the word ala. Yeah.
Ala.
Ala, yeah. Then anything that comes after ala is gonna have a kasra on it. So let's say ala al-maktabi. And ba. Ala al-maktabi. Upon, on. Ka, yeah, it means like, misluka, or ka farasin. Let's say, for example, this one here. I'll use this one as an example now. Write it like this. Ka farasin. This pen is really like that. You see this harful jar, ka. Yeah. And it renders the word after it, which is faras. It means horse. But here it's got kasra, because the harful jar. So kafarasin, you could say as-sayyara, the car, kafarasin is like a horse. So these are just the 17, these are 10 here. If you just inshallah go through them, memorize them, they're very important. Inshallah, that would be very good inshallah, in terms of the learning of Arabic language. Then we have a few more here. It starts from number 1 again, and it's labeled number 1 again. But we have a few more here. If you learn these as well, the ones that are highlighted in green, I'll send them into the group. So now let's have a look here. As for those huruf that are not governing.
Hello, Ustad.
Yes, please.
Can you write next time if you can you write the Arabic little bit bolder, little bit
Bigger, yeah?
clear? Yeah,
Okay.
please.
Which Arabic?
The printed one.
Okay, inshallah, yeah, no problem.
Okay.
So like
So-
these ones that are highlighted, yeah?
Yeah, it's very hard to understand. It's ba and then
Okay, understood. Jazakallah khair. I will make sure that they can be bigger next time. And I'm sending these in.
Sorry, Mona, just to clarify something. You know the 10 letters you showed us at the top.
Yeah.
So if we get any of them 10 letters at the start of the sentence,
Yeah.
the last letter will take obviously a kasra and it will be halat jar. You said, yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
So
is it the last letter or the immediate one only?
meaning the immediate word that comes after it.
So like fil
Yeah.
bayti, that would be the house.
become a
House
majroor.
take the kasra.
Yeah. So the word that comes after it is known as majroor, and this majroor is obviously in the halat of jar. It's in the state of jar, and it will get a kasra on there as well, inshallah. Yeah?
Okay.
So there's these ones as well. They're also harful jar. Shall we just go through them? And as for those huruf that are not governing, they do not affect the word after it. Yeah. The table gives a summary below. So then we have harf is of 2 types, as you can see. Amil is written in Arabic, meaning causative particle. We have the causative particle, meaning the governing particle. It is that harf which causes the i'rab. So this is the Arabic terminology, i'rab, which is the diacritical point, to change in the word after it. For example, Zaydun fil masjidi. You know this word masjidi here? I'll remove this green thing. And it says fil masjidi. You can see there's a small kasra at the bottom of this dal. Fil masjidi. Yep, just focus on that. And then we have, ghayru amil. So what about, we said there's 2 types, those that affect the word after it and those that don't affect the word after it. looking at those that don't affect the word after it, these are non-causative, non-governing. I'll just write non-governing. Yeah. Which does not cause the i'rab change in the word after it. So example, you can see that that harf there, thumma, it just means then. Or we have wow here, it means and then we have fa, which means so.
Ustad, why does it say by up there for wow and now it's and?
Say that again. Why does it?
Above it said wow means by,
Okay.
like wallahi, and now it's wow is and.
Yeah. So it's because 1 second, sorry. It's because here this wow, you can use it. There's a time when you can take it as an oath, wallahi, by the name of Allah. And there are other times when you use it as a full stop. So when it's used as a full stop, in this, it just means and. So ana, meaning me. So Qamar was Zaydun, Qamar and Zayd. So it's like a list form. Or,
Baraba.
yeah. So, so it's in a list form basically, inshallah, yeah? All right, Jazakallah, boys. So that's it. So you have those words that govern, those huruf, harf that govern, and those that don't govern. I was gonna say, you know, when this turns off, it's gonna turn off in a few minutes because I'm using my free Zoom account.
Yeah.
If you guys don't mind, would you be able to sign back on? Inshallah, we'll just finish this
inshallah.
off.
With the same code, yeah?
With the same code, yeah. We can if you just
Okay.
sign back on, and then we can
Sure.
and then we can just finish off for the night. It's not much long left, probably about 5 minutes if you don't mind. Yeah. So I'm gonna sign off now and start again, inshallah. Yeah.
Inshallah.
Okay, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.
Is on.